Just opening a packet of ranch. Okay. Welcome everyone to the stream. So fun fact, I saw a coyote today. Luckily I was in my car. Because yeah, that probably wouldn't have been a fun time otherwise, but it was just really interesting. Because good morning. Oh my gosh, it is morning technically. What am I even doing up? Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. So I saw a coyote earlier today. Um, that was interesting. But yeah. Whew. And so I've been getting back into trying to be consistent with how frequently I draw. I've been working on my digital art and like sometimes either redrawing things I drew a long time ago, or I'm like, I should like draw some of like my characters from my writing, to kind of just help me envision like certain scenes better, certain characters better. And it's been going good. It's just like so much effort, and I've had to really challenge myself, I think, with a lot of drawing. 'Cause yeah, I think that especially the main things I've been wanting to work on is things like lighting, and different kinds of lighting. And I like your shirt. Oh, thank you. My roommates are in a band, and this is their band. You should play Fortnite. They have Wednesday Addams. I actually haven't watched Wednesday. I can't say that I do like spiders. I'm not a fan of spiders. What's your favorite color? Green. Let's see. I'll try and moderate the chat to the best of my ability. But yeah. I think that, so with my art, yeah, I've been working a lot on lighting. I've also been working a lot on, in my digital art, backgrounds and scenery. And I think my digital art has gotten me too used to the idea of like, oh yeah, if I just make a mistake, I can just draw over it. So my pencil and paper art, I've definitely been working more on proportions and whatnot. But yeah, so that's been interesting. What do you do on your weekends? Well, usually I teach music, but I also, like, let's see, what do I do? I watch anime, I game, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, thank you to whoever's sending gifts. I do hang out with my boyfriend, yes. Yeah, this shirt is It's a rock band that my roommates are in. What's the last anime you really liked? Well, currently, I've been watching Gachi Akuta. I think that's how you say it. And that show is really good so far. Um I like the very kind of like grungy aesthetic. Um and I don't know. I think it's an interesting story. I like how it's kind of like the aesthetic is very grungy, and yet the themes of the story are kind of surrounding this idea of like having compassion for people and like working past your like anger as like a subplot um and whatnot. But yeah, so I really like that. And I don't know what's wrong with my phone screen. I apologize. Hopefully that's better. I don't know. Let's see. But yeah. So I'm just munching on fries. Oh yeah, Gachi Akuta. You should watch it. It's really good. But yeah, I also think the character designs are like really unique. And if I remember correctly, the mangaka worked under the author of Fire Force and Soul Eater. So it's like interesting because I think I can see a lot of that inspiration a little bit in like some of the ways the story is told and maybe some of like the art inspiration, but it's also just like its own thing that's like really unique. And it gives me kind of like a Kame ga Kill vibes, but a little better in my opinion. Um but yeah. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it for sure. Would you ever consider a mohawk? That would be cool. I don't think I'm the person who could pull that off, but I know other people who can. Oh my gosh, it's you with the voices. Yep, it's me. I will be Hokage one day, believe it. I wish I could do like a Naruto voice. I can do kind of like a smaller boy voice. It's just that my boy voice doesn't quite sound like Naruto's. It kind of sounds like its own thing. Um, I can also do like a really small one like this, but this is kind of the silly one. But yeah. Yes, I do have a boyfriend. My boyfriend is loving and kind and also a very talented voice actor. Um, and yeah, I love him. He's very hardworking too. He's been working a lot recently. But yeah, he's so talented. He's like, I don't know. And he's just got such a distinct voice to me. I think he's gonna go far. Do you play Pokemon Legends? I actually, the last Pokemon game I ever played was when I was younger. And I was playing like, what was it? It was like Pokemon Park or something. That was a long time ago, though. That was like the Nintendo Wii days. But yeah. Let's see. I guess my favorite pie flavor is like, there's actually quite a few, but I feel like during Thanksgiving there's like pumpkin pie, which is pretty good. Uh, I like coconut, but yeah. I don't know if I've played many Marvel games. I know there's like Marvel Rivals, and I haven't even played that either. And isn't it free? Like, what am I doing? I think out of all the games I'm currently invested in, Armored Core and Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth is currently what I've been giving my attention to. Yes, I'm a voice actress. Welcome to the stream. You do game design? I wish. That'd be cool. I remember when I was younger for a time, it was when the 2016 Doom came out. Um, and I remember watching the Cyber Demon boss fight in a no commentary gameplay with my older brother. And I was like, I want to be a graphic designer and I want to be a concept artist for video games. Um, but then I I don't know why. It just I think after a while I realized like it was I was a little more into voice acting. Um yeah, voice acting is actually interesting cuz I think since things like inflection sometimes and then you work with like tone placement a lot and then enunciation, I actually found that my voice like changed a bit the more I did it. Um but yeah. Oh gosh, these comments. My boyfriend is very loyal and very sweet and very loving. He's wonderful. I'm eating fries. That's my that's my favorite. What would the word be? Snack? Fries might be a little too cool for cuz I think like chips is like a snack. Fries is kind of like well they're both like if you get potato chips, fries are also potatoes. So I don't actually know. I do find that doing voice acting actually made me a little less, I guess, embarrassed about certain things because I'm like, yeah, like basically you're talking to yourself in front of a microphone, just yelling random stuff. Like, what? What do you mean you don't like me? And then, like, you're like, what am I doing? But you love doing it. And, like, and I think that just made me less embarrassed of doing silly things, especially in singing too, because singing is also kind of one of those things where it's like you do like silly, embarrassing things to sing better. Um, And yeah. What did you voice act for? Currently, I voiced in a lot of oh gosh, a lot of audio dramas, which is super fun. I've done a couple. It's all more like independent stuff, and a lot of it's on YouTube, so feel free to check it out. But yeah, I've done some audio dramas. I've done a couple of like animation slash animatic things, whether it be web comic type stuff for people like promotional things or just like currently I voice this character named Princess Merope in this series called Plague of Crowns that I really like voicing because she's like super awesome. And then yeah, I do a lot of like skits and collaborations with just other voice actors I know on the internet. But yeah, let's see. Do you speak Spanish? Not well. I am Hispanic. I for some reason Spanish just never clicked for me. And my boyfriend's tried to teach me some here and there. But currently all I really know how to say is yo te amo because I say that to him because I'm like, "Oh, I love my boyfriend." And I'll always say that to him, but that's like the only thing I can remember. And just variations of that of me saying that, but then with like a little like nickname I'll have for him or whatnot. So are you in any movies? Maybe someday. That'd be cool. Okay, in my head, if I could be in any kind of movie, I would want to be in like just one of those like kind of like individual type of science fiction movies. Like, okay, I know it's no longer individual, but we pretend the second one doesn't exist. I would want to be in like a movie like Pacific Rim because I love that movie so much, and I really like just like other movies kind of that genre, and I would want to be in something like that. That'd be cool. Let's see. There's nothing to be embarrassed about voice acting. It's a form of art where you can be anyone. And we were trying to be someone for so long. Your face gets a neutral look. I feel that like sometimes I'm voice acting. I'll be like doing a sad scene and I'll just be like but then I'll just have like a blank stare. What type of Hispanic? Well, my dad's got on my dad's side, there's actually like Mexican Hispanic and then there's also a little bit of lineage from Spain. And then on my mom's side it's Mexican Hispanic. Do a Resident Evil parody movie? Oh gosh. I never watched actually. I definitely played the games. I never watched the movies and I'm sure like people seem to be like very 50-50 about whether they like the movies or not. But I feel like every time I like would see a trailer for like the movies, I'd be like, "Where's Leon? Where's Ada?" And so, but yeah. Oh no, someone says I get bullied at school. Do you have any advice, please? If you get bullied at school, I would recommend you try to tell a teacher or a dean. And if that doesn't work out, because I know sometimes things can be like complicated, in school. Yeah, just maybe confront that person. I think that's the most you can do. And at the very least, if you confront that person about some of that, I mean, chances are, like, because weirdly enough, I think some people don't like confrontation that much. They'll kind of realize after a while, like, oh, like, I, I don't know. They'll probably be like less inclined to do that ideally because you're just kind of showing them by confronting them, like, hey, I have a problem with you and that's not okay. That's my advice. But yeah. But let's see. Are you in love with my boyfriend? All the time. Every second of the day. That's actually true. There's so many times where I'm just like going about my day and I'm at work and I'm like, my boyfriend. But yeah. How was your day? My day's going good. Try to say a sentence without using like. That's pretty much impossible for me. No. Let's see. Can I do a Nanami san voice? I don't know why, but I'm thinking of Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen. My mind is blanking. Remind me of specifically which Nanami is being referred to. But yeah. But yeah, it's been an interesting day. There was actually an aurora in my state, which never happens. Um, like the lights in the sky that happens when I think solar flares meet with the atmosphere. Um, so yeah, that was really interesting. But yeah. Yeah, in Colorado. Super cool stuff. But yeah. I think that like it's honestly weird that there's always like just these crazy, I guess like I don't know. Apparently there's just all these different kinds of like interesting sort of like phenomenons that can happen. I feel like I said that wrong. With things like light and whatnot and like Earth's like atmosphere and like I remember seeing some sort of article about that a long time ago. But yeah. Happy birthday in the chat. Let's see. Oh, you know the basics of Spanish? Yeah. I wish. Okay, it's extra sad too because I've literally taken like Spanish so many times in my life. The language I took for the longest was Latin. I should say longest and consistently. Um which is interesting because no one speaks Latin. But yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen Nanami. I can't. Oh gosh. Okay, there's like the Japanese voice actor for Nanami, and he just has like such a like deep, like rich tone to his voice. And I'm like, I got like, how do some people, how are they just able to do that? Uh yeah, like an aurora borealis, but this was just like an aurora that happened in Colorado. Is it still called that if it happens in like another area? Because I always assumed it was called that because of like being in a specific place or whatnot. But yeah. Let's see. I've been feeling so alone lately. I love watching these live streams. Have a good night. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that the streams help. Because, yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, it's not fun being lonely. But I'm glad my streams can ideally bring joy to some people. That's the goal. Because, like, the goal of this channel is, like, putting my voice acting content out there and whatnot. But then I also think in my head, I'm like, if I can just, like, make people laugh in, like, the middle of their day with just some, like, silly memes and stuff, that's actually, like, a very, like, wonderful thing, I think. But yeah. What are you talking about? I just joined. We're talking about many things. Let's see. I was born and raised in China, but I lived in the United States all my life. Oh wow, that's crazy. I've never been to like outside of the United States. I should probably I just don't know where I would go because in my head I have like all these places where I'm like that'd be cool to visit. But then I remember, oh yeah, I can't speak any of the languages. But yeah. What's the best way to get a girl and be in a relationship? I mean, I don't think that's a guaranteed. I don't think there's a guaranteed tactic. I think the advice I would give is maybe try and find a person who like loves you for you, I guess, or just try and be your genuine self. Cause like, and I know it's like the thing where people are like, no one would like the real me, but it's like, okay, I don't know. I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration because everyone typically people are just going to connect with someone's like similar to them. So you should try and be your like yourself because it's honest because the person you end up with is probably going to like you would ideally want them to just have like shared interests and like whatnot. And yeah, I think that's my thoughts. But also, I think that it's, yeah, there's really no rush for things like that. I think when I was younger, I was like, why is everyone dating except for me? But now looking back, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think there were very many people I connected with when I was younger, and so it was probably for the best. Are you in Japan? No. That'd be cool. Have you ever been to Montana? I haven't. That would also be cool. Thank you. You give amazing advice, actually. I hope so. I, yeah, I just think that, like, in general, I think just being honest about the kind of person you are tends to have better results in life than, like, I don't know, like, it spares you time and it spares other people time and heartbreak and whatnot. But yeah. Can you do impressions? I can do a Fluttershy impression for My Little Pony. She kind of like talks like this, like,
Oh, hello, Twilight. You see, I was just looking for the baby bunnies because it appears they've gone missing.
she kind of talks like that. But yeah. And I can kind of do a Ryuko Matoi impression, where she kind of like, it's kind of similar to how I do my sort of like boyish voice. Um, but yeah, like she'll go like, "Why'd you do it? Why'd you kill my dad?" and whatnot. I'm talking at a low volume because I don't want to like just yell at the top of my lungs and wake everyone up in this house. Do a Walter White impression. I don't think something tells me that's a little bit outside of my capabilities. All right, I got it. You ready for this?
Jessie, we need to cook.
That's like accurate, right? Do you like PCs? I actually feel like I do. I have a PlayStation and a PC, and I definitely game more on the PC than the PlayStation. Because currently on the PlayStation, all I'm playing is Persona 5, which is a really fun game. But yeah. Oh man. There's like nothing more embarrassing. I'm just remembering this because, like, back in the day, I remember I was playing Persona 5. Wow, this just goes to show how long I've had this game too and haven't completed it. But I was playing Persona 5, and my dad came up to me and he was like, "Where are you playing?" And I was like, "Persona 5." And he was like, "What's it about?" And for those of you who like probably watch anime or play games or play like kind of anime-ish games, you know that like there will be some amazing stories out there and just like really good games, and then trying to explain it to other people makes it sound like the dumbest thing ever. Because no matter how hard you try, you just can't explain it in a way that makes it sound like cool or like not weird. So cuz I like explained it. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's there's these kids and they try to steal people's hearts so they confess to their crimes, and and this cat is helping them." And my dad was just like, "Oh, cool." And so yeah, it's there's just something incredibly embarrassing about trying to like explain that, like anything like anime or video game relate, like just the plot of something in those genres to like people who are potentially like not into those genres. What graphics card do you have in your PC? I don't know, but I believe a good one. I I mean, I would assume that this computer is definitely an upgrade from what I previously had. Um People who were on this channel like a year ago can are witness to that. My computer totally just like, yeah. Eh, I had to get a new computer. I tried to get into Persona, but the playthrough was like 100 hours long, so I gave up. Oh yeah, it's pretty long. I feel like that's why I like it though, because it's like it is long, but you can kind of just go back to it whenever you want, and it's very low stakes, I feel like. Like it's definitely not a game that takes like too much skill, in my opinion. It takes strategy, but it doesn't necessarily, like, you don't have to be the best person at video games to enjoy playing those games. Are you eating cold fries? Yeah. What are we doing? Eating cold fries and talking about Persona 5. I haven't played Persona 3 Reload yet. I've heard good things. But yeah. Not me, just like eating fries. How have I been? I've been good. I've been. Oh yeah, I've been writing more too. And while writing, I I found a bunch of my old notes for my middle school years when I would write stories. And like, oh, it's a whole mess. Everything about my writing in middle school was just an absolute mess, like absolutely terrible. So like, for one, I would write these one-liners that were really dumb, that didn't make like any sense. Like, I think I remember me and Juan always laugh about this. There's like one chapter I wrote in like middle school where it's like, and the main character like fights and then she wins and then she has a sword, so she like stabs the like the antagonist, and he says something like, you'll never beat me or whatever, and then she like defeats him and she's like, thanks for the tip. And that's just like so dumb. But when I was in 6th grade, I wrote that and I was like, oh yeah, this is sick. um and then reading some of my, I don't know, there was just no subtlety in my writing when I was in middle school. I noticed something really funny too, where like I'd have a character like defeat an important character and I'd have them give some like long monologue like, I see now that I was just suffering the whole time because of this thing and everything. Like they give like 1 minute monologue as like the person they've just defeated is just like deceased in the corner. I'm like, wow, that was horrible writing. And then I read my romantic writing, which like wasn't bad when I was in 6th grade, but also just like incredibly way too like spicy, and I don't even think I realized that when I was in 6th grade writing it, but reading it back I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, wow, this is embarrassing. But yeah. Are you sure you can hear me enough in the mic? I'm kidding. Okay. I'll just leave it there. Oh wow. Let's see. To that comment about the previous stream, maybe call for help if that's actually happening, cuz that yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. Do you still write stories? Yes, I do. Um, Can you see my PC? I feel like you're just gonna have to take my word for it because I don't know the ins and outs of, like, I guess what's like I do like gaming streams. It's like an Alienware PC, but yeah. But yeah, I still write stories. I'm just trying to be a lot more frequent about that because yeah, I think this particular story that I'm writing, I'm like, I I really want to complete it. I really like the characters I've come up with. I really like the premise I've come up with. I really like the themes of the story. And especially because sometimes when I'm like talking to my boyfriend and talking about my writing to him, and I'm like, is this like, do you like this character? Is this character like good enough or compelling enough? Like, do you get what they're about? Do you feel like I'm portraying like the growth well enough? And then I kind of realized like he has this insight of just me explaining like what's in my head and my intention with the writing. But I need to just complete like at least the first book to actually get to a point where it's like, okay, we have a beginning and we have an end of this book. Did we feel like this was like a good story? And yeah, so I need to keep writing for sure. Oh man. You know what? I'm going to say this to like anyone out there. This is just my opinion too. If but I feel like it's for the most part I feel like it's true. If you have like a passion like writing or art or voice acting, I believe that if you're passionate enough about something, you can find a way to make that work. And ultimately you're doing that thing because you love that thing. And I say just like go for it. And obviously, it's difficult when there are like other people, maybe sometimes in your life, who are like putting you down about those things. But I think you should just like go for it. But yeah. Happy birthday. There's two birthdays that happened today. How much input ideally would you want on your dialogue for a voice acting job? Well, when you do voice acting, you get a script. Like, I mean, I don't know. I've done projects where sometimes, mostly skits, where I've just kind of been given the option to do a little bit of like improvisational kind of stuff and humor. And yeah, like it, but for the most part, I've never just been like told to completely improvise something. That'd be a very interesting project. But yeah, usually what happens is I'm given scripts. Sometimes someone will direct me, sometimes they'll just like trust me to do what I do best. Though I always kind of let them know, like, all right, like I finished the lines, I did like two or three takes. Let me know if you want me to like redo a line or like change something up about how I'm like voicing this character, if I'm doing a good enough job of like your vision of this character. Which has happened once or twice. Like, there's definitely been instances where I'm like, oh, I made this character like way too serious. But I always appreciate the input on that because ultimately I feel that I can give my best performance when the character just feels like very like full in their personality. And I think what I'm doing is I'm giving my voice to someone's project and someone's characters, and I want to do the best I can to sort of just have the characters as they envision them. Oh yeah, so this is my ReZero poster in the background, and this is my Persona 5 poster. But yeah. Let's see. I'm an animator and was so invested in my work that I would work during every class of high school for like hours a day. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's pretty tricky for sure. But yeah, I think even just putting in like just being consistent with things, I think is like a really good habit to get into. I've kind of felt that way with writing. Sorry, I'm just like way behind on the chat. But yeah. Hello to any of you just joining the stream. I'm a voice actress. I do projects and silly memes. There was a direct inverse correlation between my animating and grades. Isn't that often the case? I remember when I was in high school, I was like, spend 30 minutes on homework? No. Spend like 3 hours drawing like a portrait? Yes. Like, it's so funny too because I feel like in the instances or the years where my grades were like less good, it wasn't even for something like that wild or cool. It was just for stuff like, oh, I'd like read too much and I'd forget to do my homework. But yeah. Can you do impressions? Not a whole lot. But I did a Fluttershy impression earlier in the video. What's this about? This is a Q&A. You can ask any questions. I'm a voice actress. Can I see some of your work? Yes, if you go on my channel, there's a playlist that's called Projects I'm in. And it has all of the stuff I have been in and voiced in. I would recommend, just because I really like this one, there's this one of my character, Princess Merope, versus like a locust type monster. It should be called like Merope versus Locust. It's a part of this thing called Plague of Crowns. But definitely check that one out because I'm so proud of that one because I got to like yell so much and just do like fighting noises and I was like, that was awesome. Do you play games? Yes. I just like burped in my throat. What's a type of voice acting you do? Let's see. Oh, I think I read this wrong. But yeah, I do a lot of audio dramas, animated slash animatic stuff, and memes. But yeah. Do an impression of. I can't do like. Are you talking about Piglet from Winnie the Pooh? I can't do a Piglet. Oh gosh. Do you play games on stream? Yeah, I play Armored Core in some of the streams. That's kind of the game I've been trying to stick with mostly, which it's pretty good so far. In my head, I'm like, wow, I'm not doing super great at this game, so I can't even imagine what it would be like if I did like Elden Ring. Because Armored Core is also a From Software game, but probably one of their easier ones, though I think it depends what boss fight you get. How long have you been voice acting? At this point, it's gotta be like 3 or 4 years for sure. What's your favorite meal? I like steak. That's one. What's your favorite color? Green. What's tonight's topic? I guess any questions you have. Though usually I anticipate there will be like voice acting questions, but it's just like whatever questions. Let's see. Hi, Elion. Hello. But yeah. And I'm also just eating fries. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's kind of fun. Oh boy. Just every stream, people say I look like Velma. Where did you get the fries from? The fry store. No. I went to like Whataburger. I know. It's I I get bullied all the time for this. It's okay. It's because everyone else I know prefers In N Out, but In N Out's fries are not very good. Let's see. What voices do you do? Uh, I mean, lots of different voices. I do.
I can do really small voices. Um, I can do kind of nasally voices too. And weirdly enough, if I push the nasally voices more forward and just make them in my like normal voice, then they kind of just sound deeper like this.
But yeah, so I can do all those voices. I'm not in Texas, but I do remember Whataburger used to only be in like Texas, I believe. Maybe Oklahoma as well. So currently, I tried to like when my hair was purple, I was like, I'm gonna bleach my own hair at the ends, knowing that it had been so many years since I had like done that. Cause I used to go to like a cosmetology program when I was in high school, which is like hair and makeup stuff. And I was like, I'm glad I'm coloring this purple because it didn't quite turn out how I would have wanted, but it doesn't look bad necessarily. It's just a little uneven. But yeah. Yes, any questions are welcome. I just might not answer them if they're weird. Do an elderly person voice. That's actually the voice that like I feel like I don't do often. But
I think this is my elderly woman voice. It's very shaky and it's kind of hard to do because I don't do it very often, but I need to try to work on that a little bit more.
yeah, that's the best I can do. Can you control rats like Makima? Or was that like mice at the end because of the whole country mouse and city mouse metaphor in Chainsaw Man? No, I can't. Have you done any dubs for anime? Someday, I hope so. Oh gosh. I don't know how. Um, Hi, how's your evening going? Good. It's going good. That was a short answer. Good. Just stares off into space. But yeah, what's the answer to this riddle? The joke. But yeah. But yeah. I think that like I think it's interesting because I don't know why I was thinking about this when watching Chainsaw Man the movie. But I was like, wow. I guess there's some stories that are just like so universal that everyone knows them. Because in my head, too, I thought the country mouse and the city mouse was kind of one of the more, like, vaguer stories. They're not, like, super vague. But then seeing that that was, like, referenced in Chainsaw Man, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's, like, I guess it's more popular than I originally thought. But yeah. Let's see. I bleached my hair before dyeing it purple. And the bleach lasted, like, a year and a half growing out. Yeah. I think it's like it's honestly fun having like super like light blonde hair that's like bleached because it's not like super healthy for your hair. I mean, though you have to kind of like maintain it, but you can just dye your hair any color. And I really miss that, which is why maybe eventually I'll just like commit to like getting it bleached like a really light blonde again. Because I think especially I liked it back in the day when my hair was pink. And I liked it back in the day when my hair was. I liked this like mint green color I used at one point, though I'd kind of want to try that again because I don't think I did the mint green very well at the time. But yeah. All right. Top 5 anime. Um I actually have like a list of my top 30 anime. Let me see if I remember everything. Okay. I feel like I can remember my top 10, so I'm only going to list some of them that I remember my top 10. I know for a fact my favorite, it always changes, it's probably Fate Zero. So Fate Zero, Violet Evergarden, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Um, Code Geass, probably. And it's hard to say. Maybe Madoka Magica. I could also see Erased. And there's definitely like one I really like that I'm just like forgetting right now. It'll come back to me. But yeah. Did I go to prom? When I was in high school, I didn't go to prom. Um, but I went to IHOP with my friends in prom dresses we got from Goodwill, which was way more fun and I mean, well, I'm not against dancing. I think dancing is super fun. Um, I went to like a couple homecomings too when I was in high school, and I think those are super fun. Um, I think sometimes the social expectations can definitely make or break that experience for some people. Um, but I would say like definitely like don't let that deter you from going to prom. But if you feel like prom's just like not your scene, just like find something else fun to do with your friends. And yeah, that's what I would say. Are you in college? Not currently. I was for a time. Do you like Family Guy? I have not seen that show in a super long time. Um, I feel like I don't remember like a whole lot about it. I think that this is so I'm usually not a super like comedy show type of person, but that's just kind of I don't know. There's definitely some out there that I enjoy. Jujutsu Kaisen, that's a good one. What's your favorite Pop Tart flavor? Strawberry. That's my favorite. Oh gosh. What are these questions? Are you asking how I cook like stuff like ramen? I mean, I don't think you can put ramen in the microwave unless I'm remembering that incorrectly. If I'm cooking spaghetti, I definitely use like a pot of water. Um, for ramen, you can just use like a teapot and heat up water and then just like pour it in. Um, or like a coffee pot, but just don't put coffee in it because I don't think coffee and ramen would go well together. Um, or maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't answer this question. This is. Oh gosh. What's the topic of discussion? Just whatever questions you guys have. Oh boy. Let's see. Do you drink alcohol occasionally? I mean, occasionally. I'm kind of. It's funny because like, I turned like 21 and I was just like, I'm gonna drink some sparkling water. Because I don't know. I don't feel like. Because I'm gonna be like 23 soon, and I just don't feel like. I'm not opposed to things like wine or whatnot, but that's just not really my vibe typically. I kind of just like apple juice and lemonade. You could play a nerdy vampire perfectly. That feels so specific. Like voice acting wise, or just how I look. Yeah, you look like someone who's sickly and doesn't get sleep. uh, I'm kidding. Let's see. What's your favorite thing to do? I want to say drawing, but then it's like every time I draw, I'll draw for like more than like 3 hours, and I'll just be like, why doesn't this picture look how I want it to? Um, Maybe singing. I like singing. What is my favorite ramen? Usually, like pork ramen if I go to if it's not just like the like store-bought cup kind. Um did you go to Anime Expo in LA this year? I didn't, my boyfriend did. Uh I hear it's usually crowded, but maybe I'll go there someday. That would be kind of an interesting experience. Do you hate when you go outside and notice the sun doesn't have a baby face on it like it does on Teletubbies? I swear. This drives me crazy. I'm addicted to sparkling water. No, literally, there's something about it where it's so like it's so cheap and it's like it has like the same feeling as soda, but it's like not and it's like not like super like sugary. No, trust me, if you see that part anywhere on audition for it, best of luck. Thank you. What's your favorite Pokemon? I feel like I've answered this before, but I forgot my own answer. Oh yeah, I like Leafeon. Leafeon's cool. But maybe that's just my favorite evolution. I think Victini's also cool. I'm hoping to get married to Juan soon, someday. But no pressure because he's a hard worker and I want him to I don't know, just achieve his dreams and like never feel any pressure. I guess like you have to do this thing immediately. Um UVA for what shows? None yet. Actually, Plague of Crowns is like kind of a thing. That's like it's an animated series, but it's in the works. But yeah, you should check out what I've done before with it. Why does your voice sound so familiar? I just have one of those voices. Favorite song to sing, and can you sing it for us? I don't think I can because I feel like I would get copyrighted. Um, let's see. I've written songs. I'm trying to think of like silly songs I've written because I have written silly songs. Um, any advice for a 30-year-old with a midlife crisis? Um, sometimes when I feel like I'm going through it, I like to take a nice walk outside. Maybe therapy is a good option, but walking is also nice. Um, okay. I remember at one point I wrote a song uh, about like pancakes. Um, that's a funny, silly song that I'll sing for my boyfriend sometimes because he likes it, even though it's very silly, and I'll like play it on guitar too. Um, and the song's like, how'd it go? Is like, is it baking if it's a cake? Or is it just a name, just a name, just a name? Delicious though maybe I ate too much for today, for today, for today. That's all I remember from that song. I have the lyrics written down somewhere. Um, but yeah. If you were to pick a weird power, what would it be? What qualifies as like a really weird okay, something oddly specific. Um the ability to always be hydrated. I often feel very dehydrated. Noted, do a walk with a therapist. Yeah, see? Multitasking. Um, okay, I've heard of that meme. I just don't know what it means. What scares you more? Paranormal stuff or home invasion? Wouldn't that be like both? In the wait, except I mean, I guess I don't think either one would be a great time. Um, but yeah. Alright, Sing Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. I've definitely thought many times about working on that song, whether on guitar or singing. But then I remembered that I don't have the voice of Ozzy Osbourne, so I'm like, should I even? Okay, maybe I'll try someday. It's kind of funny because like I teach music other than voice acting, and sometimes currently a lot of my students are into K-pop Demon Hunters. So they'll be like, "Can you sing Golden?" And I'll sing it. And like I like the music in that movie too. I think it's fun. You should start writing anime songs like openings. I do actually really like singing Yuki Kajiura's music on my own time. Um, it's tricky because it's in a language that she created for her soundtracks. Um, but yeah. You play guitar? Yes, I do. Do you guys remember the meme where it was just like people repeatedly going like bread? Students, you're a teacher? I'm a music teacher. But yeah. Do your students know your channel? I actually think once or twice that's happened. Where they're like, I've seen your YouTube. And I'm like, well, it's too late now. I'm just probably weird in their eyes now. uh, what car do you drive? One that drives. Let's see. What is this question? Would you lead Oompa Loompas into battle against a dragon? Or try and find Bigfoot? I'd trust the Oompa Loompas with my life. They seem pretty clever. They seem like they could, like, come up with a way for us to defeat a dragon. I feel like anytime I've seen those, like, expedition, like, searching for the long lost cryptid type of shows, or, like, searching for Mothman, searching for Bigfoot or something, it's like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not gonna believe that like Bigfoot is real until I see some footage of like Bigfoot just like sitting there like drinking like a cup of coffee or something at this point, because they'll be like, what was that? And it's like a twig snapped and you'll see these like glistening eyes in like the dark or something on their like cameras, and I'm like, I don't know. You ever have those times where you just yell the English parts of the chorus since the majority of song is in Japanese? Oh yeah, like all the time. Except usually I'll try and sometimes learn the like Japanese lyrics to a song if I like a song. Um okay. So like learning, I think, just how to, you definitely want to learn how to pronounce things like well. But learning how to sing in Japanese isn't too tricky, I find. in comparison to something like trying to learn how to sing in Korean. Because again, with a lot of my students really liking K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm like, okay, well, like learn some of the songs, and just reading the lyrics, I'm like, how do I even say this? And so I'll have to listen to the song like 9 times and be like, okay, this is how it's pronounced. But yeah. Let's see. Do you text your students outside of work? No, because that's unprofessional. I mean, occasionally you'll get like messages from people and whatnot being like, what's like the assignment for like, from like the parents or whatnot, for just whatever like the emails are of like, what's like the homework for this week? What's like, I have a question about this thing. But yeah, professionalism is key. Is it like School of Rock? I actually remember watching that movie recently with my boyfriend because he hadn't seen it before. I think that movie's like a really fun movie. And then watching it, I was like, wow, this is like, it's so funny. Because, like, I actually think, like, because Jack Black's character in that movie is just, like, super, like, he's this, like, metalhead, but he's, like, definitely unprofessional because he's, like, pretending to be a substitute teacher. But, like, he. Yeah, like. I actually think his, like, approach of being encouraging as the story goes along. Initially, he's not like super encouraging, but him just being encouraging as the story continues, I'm like, that's actually like the best thing you can do within teaching. I like to play by hate music theory. That's so funny because I feel like I enjoy music theory a lot. It takes a while sometimes, I think, to fully understand some of it, but I find it like very helpful. But everyone kind of learns music in their own way. You've got a really cool style. Thank you. Could you do a Sasquatch call? Like, well, I feel like they always, in like the Bigfoot documentaries, make it sound like there's like horns or something, and that's like Bigfoot noises. I don't think I could. Do you like to draw? If you do, what do you love to draw? I like drawing in anime art style. I know I show this every stream, but I'm just like so proud of this because I did this drawing recently. I drew Amelia from ReZero, and I think it looks awesome. But yeah. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, so the story behind my name on this channel is back when it's the same as when I had Google Plus. And back when Google Plus was a thing when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to post my artwork on here, but my name will be my first name, but backwards. Because Noelle, the way it's spelled, is just Elion backwards. And I was like, and then a pastel is like an art tool, but what if I spelled it weird? And so that just kind of stuck around. But yeah. Are you playing Dispatch? I haven't. I think my boyfriend is. What's your favorite ice cream? Mint chocolate chip. I like mint chocolate chip. Amelia, best grill. Like, best at cooking burgers? No, I'm kidding. Amelia is best girl. She's very cool. Rem's also cool. I think, I don't know, it's, in my mind, I don't think it's really much of a debate, because it's like, it's apples and oranges. I think Rem and Amelia both have very good things about them. Maybe also their own, like, internal insecurity issues. But that's kind of what the whole story of ReZero is about. Um, but I think they're both kind of interesting. I like how um, I like how Amelia's mature enough where she kind of wants to like figure out her feelings for Subaru if she feels like it'll turn into like love, but she's just trying to navigate that because she wants to be like honest with herself and honest with him. Um, and then I like how Rem's love is very encouraging and selfless, where by the middle of season one, she's like, I know you don't like me, and I like you, but if you're choosing me, then that means you're choosing me because you're giving up on something important to you, and she doesn't want to see that happen. And I think that's it's a beautiful and tragic thing within this story, but mostly beautiful, in my opinion. Yeah, it's backwards, like Alucard. All right, here's a question for the chat. If any of you have ever watched or played Castlevania, do you guys like Alucard or Trevor Belmont better? Subaru, and I took that personally. Dies. I love ReZero. I think it's a really great story. I can see how it's not everyone's thing, and I think that's fair. I just really like how it discusses the themes of self worth and trying to find that so you can have healthy dynamics with the people around you, and more love for yourself, and also understanding you probably got some things to work on as a person, but that doesn't make you horrible. I think that's important. Um, I think a lot of people sometimes think because they have things they need to work on, especially when they're like in their teens, that they're just like a horrible person, and that's really tragic to me. Because I don't think that's true. But yeah. What is this question? Do you prefer breakfast or Canada? This is actually kind of funny because I've never been to Canada, but I also don't eat breakfast. What was the best thing you ever learned in therapy? Oh, I still need to go to therapy. Um, I think I actually went once or twice when I was younger. Um, I thought it was kind of cool at the time when I was younger how I remember something along the lines of like I was talking to a therapist. I showed her my like drawings and everything. I like drawing anime. She's like, I like how I noticed the eyes are like always very like detailed and like large, and like I think that's because you really like expressing like emotion and whatnot in your drawings. Um, so that was kind of interesting, but yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't do ASMR. I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm not in Dispatch, the game. That's what the game's called, right? I voice act in a lot of audio dramas, some antagonists. Uh, Two of the projects I really liked voicing characters in was doing promo stuff for the webcomic Anamnesis, where I was voicing the character of Chloe, who's like the older sister of the group. She's super cool. And then another character I voice is Princess Merope in Plague of Crowns, who I like voicing because she's also awesome. But yeah. What's your favorite food? Maybe pepperoni pizza. That's kind of a boring answer, but it's true. I swear your chemistry teacher is Breaking Bad. Uh, Pepperoni is better than sausage. I feel like that's true. I think you dated my brother back in the day. I think I didn't because I didn't date anyone back in the day. um, I was not particularly a social person when I was younger. Um, as a teacher, what would you recommend for my memory retention? I started college and my memory isn't the best while I'm passing. Retention of that knowledge may end up being an issue. Well, I teach music. I'm sure it's like different with everything. Usually with music, repetition is the best way to remember stuff. So, if it's something that's not like that, maybe if you're trying to remember definitions, but maybe even just remembering like anything really, you could always make like flashcards, kind of like quiz yourself every now and then. Write the word on the front, the definitions on the back, whatnot. You could also just, I mean, yeah, when you take notes, I think try to review those notes as frequently as you can. That's my thoughts. Or just express to whoever's your teacher, like, I might need some extra, like, is just like insight into how I can, like, understand this better. Like, is there, like, a book you recommend I read? Like, is there a way of studying this that's going to help me to remember it easier? But yeah, I guess it depends on what the subject is. Oh my gosh, that reminds me of a meme I made. Where I made a meme where I was like, "No, don't you dare. Stay back. I won't do it. I won't fill out a job application. I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer, you hear me?" Like, it was, I don't know why I just remembered that. It was really funny. What's the worst thing you ever ate and the weirdest as well? I don't know. Probably something that was like too spicy, maybe. But I guess it depends. Have you heard about Demon Slayer? It's an anime. Nope, never heard of it. Yes, I've heard of it, and I love that show. And I loved the movie. That was a super cool experience to watch that in theaters. Because I watched the Mugen Train movie when it came out in theaters, which was like really great. But then seeing the first part of this final arc in theaters was just like mind blowing. But yeah, I think like watching a Demon Slayer movie in theaters is always super cool. Ever seen Samurai Champloo? Is that how you pronounce it? I actually haven't seen that one yet, but I've heard good things. Recently, another anime I watched, well, I say recently, it was like a month back. I watched Dororo. That was super cool. That was a great anime. I love that one. I have no clue what's going on in these comments. Alright, I think that's going to conclude today's stream, but I hope you all have a good night. Thank you for watching this stream. If you want to see some of my voice acting work, yeah, check out my channel, which has me voice acting memes. If you want to see some of the more professional work and projects I've done, there's a playlist called Projects I'm In that has the projects I'm in. And yeah, feel free to check that out. I stream Armored Core occasionally, so yeah, feel free to join for those streams too. But yeah. Alright. But yeah, have a good night, everyone. Have a good week. Get sleep or have a good day. But yeah. Bye.